Hey everyone, Michelle here. So it's right around New Year's time, and this time of year we always hear those infamous New Year's resolutions. The people who are going to go work out at the gym so they get new memberships, people who are going to eat healthy and really take control of their lives and just live with a different mindset. Maybe they're going to try and be more patient, kind, generous, all noble ambitions. But in this time of year, we find ourselves so surrounded by triggering things about why we should change our lives. And why we should do it to be healthier. Yes, that's important to recognize that health is important. But hearing all the diet talk, people who are going from this holiday season talking about starving themselves throughout January or just being very conscientious of what they're eating, saying that they're guilty because they ate something, just feeds into that eating disorder thought. And part of me feels that this time is one of the most challenging times of the year because it would be so easy to just go along with society, to slip back in and say, oh, well, everybody else is saying it. Why can't I talk about food, weight, calories, fat, exercising, all of the lovely likes? But the thing is, I feel that when it comes to New Year's, there's such this grandiose thing of changing our lives, as if the years that have passed, the year that just passed, was not good enough, and that we need a completely new start, that we cannot embrace who we are and where we are in this moment. And I feel that, yes, bad things happen in a year. I understand that, I know. But the thing is recognizing where you're coming from in a year and not saying that you want to change yourself by making these New Year resolutions that'll completely uproot everything that you stand for and go for, but realizing that it's taking what you've learned in this past year and applying it to your new year. I feel that that's the best thing. If you can take the lessons you've learned from the people that you've trusted, the lies you've been told, the hurts you've endured, the joys you've felt, the sum of your year, if you're able to carry that into the new year, your perspective changes. And even if it's just that little bit, it does make a difference. And I feel in a completely different place, but also in the same place that I was last year, getting ready for the New Year's and feeling like, well, I could easily just start restricting or maybe exercising more. Nobody will notice. It'll be great. I mean, everybody else is doing it, so why can't I? And being stuck in that mindset really is challenging to break because for so long you're working at putting your recovery first. And I have to think about everything that I've endured in this past year of my recovery, from the highs and lows of recovery, from the milestones that I've reached to the lows and relapses that I've had, to recognizing everything in its essence, basically saying, this is where I've been, this is where I am. And not placing judgment on it, not saying, oh, that was a horrible moment because of this, but recognizing that it was where you were in that moment because of a series of events. And you're here today because of the sum of all those events. And it's not because you had breakfast yesterday that you're having this negative mindset. It's not because you binge purged and now you feel that you have to do this. It's the mindset of just embracing recovery. And I feel that recognizing that recovery is a roller coaster at times, it's a journey, not a destination, is so important at this time of year. Because I know I'm totally guilty of this. I'm like, oh, if I could just press a button and just be recovered, that would be great, and I could be rid of this disorder, and wouldn't that be magical? Perfect Christmas gift. Maybe I should ask Santa for that next year. But I don't think he's gonna bring it. That's just my thought. I know, just from the work that I've put in throughout my entire recovery, that I need to put myself first. I need to put my recovery first. And I feel that when we go into the new year, we have to make that same dedication and commitment. Not saying we're going to do something radical that we've never done, because there's a reason maybe we haven't done it in the past, but realizing that there are things you can commit to this upcoming year, to making sure that you're going to therapy, being honest with your therapist, to making sure that you're eating to the best of your ability, that you're holding yourself accountable for your health, and maybe taking things hour by hour if you have to. I know sometimes it's hard to think of that. We'd wish we could just do it week by week, whatever. But sometimes we do need to go down by that, and it becomes a meal by meal battle, struggle. But the thing is, when you're taking care of yourself, even if it is meal by meal, you're still making the conscious effort to put you and your recovery first, which is an admirable thing. And I feel that going into the new year, it's making commitments like that, where you're dedicating yourself to getting better, to journaling, to using coping skills, to dancing, being honest with your friends, family support systems, and that you're able to fully embrace that. That is what I feel is a good resolution, because you're taking everything that's happened in this past year, the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, and you're realizing that it's just places on this journey, that you need to keep going, that you need to keep learning, because the day you stop growing is the day you stop living. And there is so much life waiting out there, so much happiness and joy, in addition to sorrows and pain, but lessons that are meant to be learned. And I just want to encourage you guys as we go to this new year to embrace that, to take this time, even though it will be a challenge, to put your recovery first. And when you hear your friends talk about dieting or exercising or losing weight in any way, shape, or form, and anything that feeds that eating disorder thoughts, that you take a step back and say, no, I'm not going to feed that. I'm not going to feed this disorder. I'm going to feed myself and take care of me, because that's my number one priority. I have to do that, because without that, what am I? I'm left with a disorder, crying and broken, chasing perfection, and in a mind that's completely insane. Because, as much as he's a great friend, no, he's not, he totally sucks. Ed is a horrible beast, and he will not stop at anything. He's not a friend. And I want you to remember that this year, as we switch from 2012 to 2013, that it's not this huge revelation, and as soon as the clock changes to midnight, that your whole life will be reworked. You're still where you are. It's just taking the lessons that you've learned and the people that you've been exposed to and using that to grow. And I think that's so, so important. So with that, I wish you guys all a happy new